Good evening, everyone. I, Radhika, on behalf of MTT, welcome you all. Let's start this evening with a wonderful quote written by Tony Robbins. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. With this, first I want to introduce mytrustedtutor.com. My Trusted Tutor is a marketplace for all kind of academicians, school, private tutors, etc. Our mission is to make quality education available easily and affordable to all. Today our webinar topic is Testmoz, online testing application. We are going to learn about this. And our speaker is Shailendra sir. He is a vice principal in the Sagar School. He is an educator with 23 years experience of the residential school system, and he has done Master of Science in Information and Technology. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Radhika. Thank you very much. And I welcome all the participants over here. Today, we are going to be talking about Testmoz, which is a very simple and a very effective, very powerful online testing application. So, in this, we are going to be discussing about how to log in, which is a site to go, how to create your online test, and how to execute that test. And at the end, we will also see how to see the results. So without wasting any time, let me get started. I'm going to share my screen, and this is what you're going to be talking about, Testmoz. We are going to be talking about creating the tests, and we're going to talk about checking the results. And my objective of this workshop would be that by the end of this 45-50 minutes session, you all are very clear with what exactly this application is. So I begin with, to start with Testmoz, you have to go to your browser and just type www.testmoz.com. When you type testmoz.com, you go to this particular site of Testmoz. I hope my screen is visible to everyone and my audio is clear. So we go to this Testmoz site. Now you have got two options over here. You can build your test free of cost. There's no problem in that. And you can also take the login ID and password. You can create your own login ID, which is at the cost of $50 for a year. And for teachers, it is at $25 for a year. Okay. So I'm going to be starting with my login ID and password. But if you want, you can go along with me and you can start a free test for yourself. The only difference is that the free test which you're going to create may not have certain facilities which are available with the licensed one. So I'm going to start with this and demonstrate everything. I'm demonstrating the licensed one so that you have the complete idea about it. Okay. The moment I log in, I've got this as my dashboard. On the left-hand side, you can see there are four tabs. One is tests. The second is results. The third is theme and tags. And the fourth is accounts. So I'm going to go to the test. In test, we have got this dashboard which displays the complete detail about all the tests which you have created. So whatever test you have created, you don't have to worry about keep searching where they are. They're all available in your dashboard. And all these tests are with the hyperlink. It displays the title of the test, the date on which you created it. It displays the status of the test, whether that particular test is open or closed. If the test is open, your students can attempt that test. But if the test is closed by you, students will not be able to attempt that test. It's as simple as that. How many questions are there in that particular test? So that is indicated over here. Then it displays the score. How many students have attempted? What is the score? The average score What is the average score of the students, the highest and lowest? So that's about the various tests. Now let's start learning about how to create a new test. So we jump into create new test. If I'm going a little fast, please let me know, but I'll try and go step by step so that all of you are able to understand clearly. So I clicked on create new test, and now we give the name for the test. I give the name as workshop 12 12 20 and click on create. So now my test has been created. Now there are certain settings which I can look into. The first is adjust the settings. Second is add questions to the test. Third is publish and distribute the test. And fourth is to view the results. So let's go into the first one, which is adjust the settings. Now, what do we do in this settings? In this settings, we can specify any logo. If you want to give your school logo, you can give your school logo over here. So the name of the test has already come over here. In this area, you can give the name of your school, or you can display the logo of your school. This panel over here, the editing panel, will help you in either inserting a picture if you want, or you can insert a video, or you can type the text over here. So I'm just going to type it as, I'll type my school name over here. All right, so that's done. Then we go to the color scheme. The color scheme, these are the possible color schemes which you have. Although this is not the limitation. We have the possibility of going into themes and tags and changing the color scheme. But these are the 4 basic color schemes which are available, which are suitable for most of the applications. So you can select any color scheme from here. Suppose I'm selecting this one. So I selected this color scheme. Then I select the language in which the pointers will be displayed to the user. Like for example, start a test, or displaying points, or displaying correct or incorrect answers. So I can select the language from here. I want everything to be displayed in English. So I've selected English. Now I go to the next part. Question settings. How do you want the questions to be shown to the user? Do you want all the questions to come on one page itself? That means if there are 10 questions in my test, all the 10 questions will come one after the other on one page. So that's by default. But if you want to change that and you want one question to come on one page, you can go to this show one question per page. This will display only one question on one page. In that also, we have got the option. The option is, do you want the student to keep jumping from one question to another, or should he go in one sequence? Like for example, I have attempted question number 1. Now I go to question number 2, 3, 4, 5. And after that, I realized that I should have changed my answer in question number 3. If you have selected allow student to jump around, then this child will be able to come back to question number 3 and change the answer. Whereas if you have selected the option of only allow the student to move forward, then the child will not have the option of coming back. He can only submit the answer and go to the next question. Once all the questions are complete, the test is over. So this is the difference between these two. Then there are other options which I'll be talking about. What is indicate if the student's response was correct or incorrect, display the correct answer, show the explanation. All these things I'll be talking about. So I'm selecting the default one, that is show all the test questions on one page itself. Then we have a checkbox over here, an option over here, that is randomize the order of the questions during the test. If you have selected this, randomize the order of questions, what is going to happen is If the test is given to 10 students, even if they are sitting next to each other, each one would have a different question on their page, on their screen. So it's not necessary that the question number one for first student is going to be the same question for the second student. The questions are going to be shuffled automatically. In that, the answers will also be shuffled. So if it is a multiple choice question, you will find that the answers which are coming A, B, C, those options will also get shuffled. So that gives the advantage to the teacher. But if the situation is that you don't want this shuffling to be done, no randomizing of order, please uncheck this. When you uncheck this, the questions are going to come as you are giving it. If you're giving question number one, it will come as question number one. It will not be shifted to in any other order. I'm selecting randomize. Fine, that's the default one. After the test is over, the child has completed all the 10 questions and clicked on submit. What do you want to do? You want to display some message that you have successfully completed your test or congratulations for completing your test. Now that conclusion text will come over here in the review settings. So we type the message over here, congratulations. That's it. So when the child submits, he will get this message, congratulations. Do you want to show a message to the child whether he has passed or failed? That's another option which is available. It's not by default, it is up to the teacher. If the teacher wants to display this option, whether the child has passed or failed, you can check this. The moment you check this, it will ask you what is the passing percentage. So whatever is the passing percentage decided by you, you can keep that over here. Suppose it is 40%. What message do you want to display when the child has scored 40 or more than 40? I want to display you have successfully completed this test, right? But suppose the child has failed, you could display a message, try again. That's it. So this is up to you, not compulsory. If you don't want these messages to be displayed and you don't want to show whether the child has passed or failed, you just want the marks, just uncheck this. No message will be displayed whether the child has passed or failed. Okay, let's go on to the next one. After the test is over, what do you want to do? Do you want to display the score? Out of 10, the child has attempted 8 correct. Do you want to display that? If yes, then click on the score. If you don't want to display the score, many times, like for example, in the entrance exam or in some competitive exam, we don't want the score to be displayed on the spot to the child. We want that to be kept as reserve. We will do the analysis and then we'll display the score. So please uncheck this. If you have checked this, the score will be displayed on the spot. Then, when the score is getting displayed, what messages do you want to display? Indicate if the response was correct or incorrect. So whether the answer which the child has given, whether that is correct or incorrect, that will be displayed. If you have selected this option of indicate their response. Second option is display the correct answer. Suppose the child has attempted question number 2 and he has selected answer B, but the correct answer was C. So what is going to happen is in front of B, there will be a red cross and in front of C, there will be a green tick indicating that your attempt, the answer which you gave is wrong, but the correct answer is C. So that will be displayed. Display the explanation. The teacher can provide the explanation with every question. So at the end of the question, after the options are over, you can provide the explanation and that explanation will be displayed if this option is selected. So I'm keeping all these options selected so that I can demonstrate all this. Now comes to the access control. All this we are talking about in settings. The access control. Who should attempt, who should be allowed to take the test? If you want anyone to be able to access the test, you keep this by default option selected, which is anyone. But if you want that this particular test should have a password, so only the child who has the password or the student who has the password, when he enters the correct password, he should be able to access the test. So you can give the password over here. So you can give whatever, it's going to be case sensitive. So whatever password you're going to give over here, when the code goes to the child, he will have to enter this password. Only then the test will open for him. If you want, it should be based on a specific number. For example, the roll number or any ID, student's ID or anything else. You can specify those numbers over here. Say A87, then now only the students with these numbers will be able to attempt. We cannot have the fourth student attempting this test. Only these three students will be able to attempt. So that's the security feature for you. Let's move on to the fourth option. Anyone who has an email address. I'm going to uncheck this. Anyone who has an email address from the list. So you can specify the email addresses over here. You can give the email addresses of all the students one after the other. So if it is student1 at the rate abc.com, go on to the next one and enter the second student. But if the students are from the same school and you've got a domain, what you can do is instead of giving student1, you can say star over here. That means all the students of that particular school will be able to attempt. So that's another security feature. I don't want this also. I'll remove it and I'll keep it for anyone because I'm going to be giving the code to you for you to try. So I'm keeping it as anyone. Then we have this option of entering the identifier. When the test goes to the child, what identifier you want from the user, from the student? Should he enter his name or should he enter his roll number or class, whatever it is? I want to enter the name, so I'll keep it as enter your name. So the child will be asked to enter the name. Then we have the option of how many times do the test, the time limit for the test, whether it is 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So you can specify that limit. If you want this to be unlimited, you can select this unlimited. But if you want to specify the time limit, you can specify the time limit as 10 minutes. So within 10 minutes, if the child has completed, that's fine. But if the child has not completed in 10 minutes, the test gets over automatically. It gets submitted automatically. The child doesn't get extra time there. How many times can someone take the test? This is once again in your hand. You can control this. If you want this to be taken as unlimited number of time, like for example, if you're doing the revision with the student and you want the child to go through those questions, you have created a database of say 100 questions and you want the child to go through that test as many times as the child wants and practice as many times as he wants. So you can keep it as unlimited. But if you want to keep it specific, suppose you're taking the unit test, you can keep the times as 1. So he will be allowed to take only one attempt. You cannot attempt more than one time. I hope this is clear. All right. So I've kept the timing as 10 and I've kept the attempt as 1. And anyone can attempt. And you have to enter the name. Let's come down to the browser functionality. In the browser functionality, you've got the option of disabling the right click. So if you have disabled the right click, the child will not be allowed to right click over there and copy and paste. Disable copy paste. So the copy paste option will not work. Control C, Control V doesn't work there. Disable translate. The child is not allowed the translate facility. Autocomplete is not allowed. Disable spell check. It disables the spell check. Disable printing. He cannot take the print of that test. So these are the options available with browser, but it depends on the browser to browser. And some browsers, there might be some cheat codes or some pass by available. Then we have the notifications. With the notification, if you have selected the first option, that is use my account settings. So whatever you have done in this account setting, that option will be taken. But if you're creating a test and suppose this is being created by a social study teacher, and whenever the child attempts that particular test, the response of that test should immediately go to the social studies teacher. So what you can do is you can specify the email ID over here. There might be chances that there are more than one social study teacher for that particular class. In that case, you can specify comma and write the second email ID. So I'm specifying the email ID over here. I'm giving my email ID over here. If I want one more email ID, I'll put a comma and write the second email ID. But just for demonstration, I'm writing only one email ID and I'll be showing it to you. That's it. If you don't want any notification, click on no. So only the test will go to the child will attempt, will submit. There will not be any notifications to you. The results will be compiled automatically for you. So I've clicked on this. Now click on save. I've successfully completed my first step of setting my question paper. Any doubts in this? All clear? Let's go on to the second part. In the second part, we will start creating the question paper. So it's automatically, the moment I saved my settings, it's automatically gone to the questions. The entire Testmoz software is very user-friendly. Once you start using it, you will start loving it. It's very good. So I go to the questions. Now in questions, I have got various options. One is graded questions. Second is survey or ungraded question. And the third is other. So I will try and explain as much as possible within the time limit which is given to me. But definitely I will show you the graded questions from here. So I'll take one example, I'll not take many examples. So just one example to show you how it works. I'm clicking on multiple choice. So let's click on multiple choice and it displays the panel to you. You can write the question over here. Let's select a simple question. Which color in a traffic light indicates go? Suppose we have been discussing about the traffic in the class and we are creating question paper on traffic. So I'm talking about the traffic light and I want to know from the students which color indicates go. So I will write the options over here: red, green, yellow, or none of these. Now you will find that moment I have typed all my questions, all the options over here, there is one option which is selected over here. That indicates the correct answer. But yellow is not the correct answer for me. I want green to be selected. So it's very simple. You just click on green. Now green is the correct answer. So as you're typing these questions, you are also indicating which is the correct answer. This is going to help in autocorrection. The moment the child is going to attempt this question, and if he has selected red, it will automatically indicate it is a wrong answer. If the child has selected green, it will indicate it is the correct answer. And on the right hand side, you will find there are points indicated. So 1 point for one correct answer. If you want to increase the point over here, you can increase. You can either type the points over here or use this up and down arrow key, the list box option, and you can increase the points. So I want this question to be of 1 marks. Another important aspect over here is that you don't have to worry about saving your question paper. Whatever work you are doing, it's getting automatically saved. So the first question you typed, you selected the correct answer, you gave the marking, it's automatically saved. You don't have to worry about saving. If the light goes off, no problem. You can start once again, and these questions which you have typed will be there in your question paper. So that's it. Now, it might happen that in some questions, there are more than one option. Like, for example, if I'm asking, who is the Chief Minister of Rajasthan? And my question is, who is the Chief Minister of Rajasthan? I give four options over here. But I want to give the names of the Chief Ministers of all the states. So all the 29 states, I want to give it over here. I can possibly do that. I can keep on adding over here. Write the next option, write the next option. Everything will keep on adding, right? But I'll just keep it restricted to 4. Let's go on to the next question. Okay, with this, I'll demonstrate show explanation also. So when you click on show explanation, it gives you the space for writing. So your explanation goes over here. Green color indicates go. So this is the explanation which will come along with the question. Let's have next question. So I've shown you the first option. Let's see the second option. Multiple choice, choose many. Let's take another question. Identify the colors you find in a traffic light. So which are the colors you normally find in a traffic light? So you give the options over here. You find blue, you find green, you find red, you find purple, or you find yellow. There are 5 choices which you have given. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of these, the correct ones which you want to keep, you will have to put a check on that. So there can be more than one correct. This is multiple choice with multiple answers, multiple options. So green is selected, red is selected, and yellow is selected. Blue and purple is not selected. For this question, there are 3 options to be selected. How do you want the grading to be done? Just 1 mark, or you want to give 3 marks for 3 correct answers? So I've selected 3 points. I've increased the points. Then you have one option which you will find over here, that is give partial credit. Give partial credit means, suppose the child has selected yellow and red, and he did not select green. Now he's partially correct. It's not completely wrong. He selected 2 correct options, but one was not selected. So do you want to give credit for that? If you have selected this, the child will get the credit. He will get the marks which are associated with 2 correct options. When you have selected this, give partial credit. If you have not selected this, the child will straight away get 0. Okay. So I've selected this, give partial credit. Now, once again, you want to show explanation, then you can write the explanation over here. My explanation. That's it. You can change the font color if you want. So you can go to this and you can change the font size. You can change the color from here, select a different color for displaying this. All right. Now let's go on to the third question, the third type, which is true, false. So I select true, false over here, and I give the question. The red color in a traffic light means stop. Is it true or false? It's true, so I've kept it on true. But if it was false, I'll select false. That means this is the correct answer. So I've kept it on true. That's it. So this is What should be the marks, which I've already given over here? It's 1. Let's go to the fourth question, matching. So match the following. Okay, over here, I would just like to involve the participants also over here. So let me take match the participants with their school. So let's take the first participant. Lina ma'am, could I know which school you're from?
Sir, I am from Kerala.
You're from Kerala. Okay, I'll just write. You have to remember this is your option. Okay, I'll write Kerala over here, option 3. Fine.
Okay.
Pooja ma'am. Pooja ma'am, where are you from? Which school?
Don Bosco.
Don Bosco. Okay. Mukesh sir. Mukesh sir, which school you're from?
Sir, I am from the Sagar School.
Okay, you're from TSS, so I'll keep it as TSS. Fourth option. Let's take Dipali ma'am. Dipali ma'am, where are you from? Which school? Okay, I'll take it as ABC school. Right. So these are the 4 options which I've got. The first one, Leena ma'am is from Kerala. So the first option should match with 3. The second should match with Don Bosco, which is 1. This should match with the second option, that is TSS, and Dipali madam with ABC school, that's 4th. So I have given the options in A and their corresponding options in B. So you can match the options like this. All right. Suppose you don't want to match with numbers, you want to match with alphabets. You can do that also. You can change the matching style from here, and you can have text matching. That's also possible. I'll keep it as numeric only. Give partial credit once again. If one of the options, the child has selected, 2 options are correct, 2 are not correct. Do you want to give the partial answer marking? Yes. And I would like to give 4 marks for correct answers. Let's go to the next option. Fill in the blanks. Let's take, which is the capital of Karnataka? The correct answer is Bengaluru. So that's the correct answer, but a child might write Bangalore, right? So there might be options for one particular question, there might be 2 or 3 answers, right? So you can have those alternate answers over here. You can have third alternate answer. You can have fourth alternate answer. You can have as many alternate answers possible for that particular question. Another important point over here is whether this should be case sensitive grading. Basically, when we are talking about the scientific names, or we are talking about the places where it has to match exactly lowercase with lowercase, like for example in chemistry formulas or biological names, it has to be in small letters, right? In that you can have case sensitive grading. Otherwise, you can keep this case sensitive grading apart. Don't select this. So whether the child enters in small letters or capital letters, it doesn't matter. It's perfectly all right. So I give 1 mark for this. And my questions are complete over here. So I've got all these questions discussed. Then there is one last question in the graded questions, which is essay, where you can ask the user, describe the importance of traffic rules. So the child is going to write a paragraph over here. He might write 4 lines, 10 lines, 20 lines, whatever. Now, this particular question, you want to keep it for 5 marks. So you give the marks over here 5. But this essay type question will not be automatically evaluated. This will be left for the teacher to evaluate. So your total marks will not be calculated at the end, because this question cannot be automatically evaluated. It might happen one child writes only 2 lines, the other one might write 20 lines. So it depends on the teacher to evaluate. So with that, I've completed these questions in my question paper. I go to the next step. The next step is to publish my question paper. So I click on publish. On the left hand side, you will find the name of the test, and I've already done the settings. I've created the questions. I've made my question paper. Now I want to publish. When I go to publish, it gives me 2 options over here. One is preview your test. So before publishing, you want to see how your test looks like. That's possible. You can click on preview your test and check your test, check all the answers, whether they're correct or not, whether the evaluation is correct or not. If there is any correction you want to make, you can come back and make those corrections. All right. After this, when you have checked everything, everything is perfect, click on publish. So once I click on publish, my test gets published. And when the test is published, I get this code over here. Your test is published and available at this. This is my test code. I need to copy this test code and give it to my students. So I've copied it and I can give it to the students. After publishing, I have got few options available over here. The current status of the test. Right now, it is open. That means if I give the test code to the students, they will be able to attempt. After say 1 hour or after 2 hours, I want to close the test. So I click on close. The moment I click on close, students will not be able to attempt anymore. After that, it will be closed. I can also schedule my test. If I schedule my test, then I can choose the date. From which date to which date? Suppose my test is starting from 13th. So it starts on 13th at 8 a.m. and it should be completed before 16th by 11:59 p.m. So this is the time period which I've given to the students to complete the test. So that's also possible. But right now, just for demonstration, I'm going to keep it open, and I have already copied this test code, which I will post it in the chat box so that the participants can attempt it. They can directly attempt this test and check it on their own. So Radhika ma'am, can I take your help to post this code in the chat box? The code is available to you. You can just directly click on this code, or you can copy this code and paste it in the browser. So for demonstration, I'm also going to perform it over here. So I'm going to open another browser over here and paste the code for you. I've pasted the code and I press enter. See, the test opens for me. Workshop 12-12-20. Enter your name. So I'm entering my name over here. And I click on start. The test starts for me. You will find the name of the test. You will find the name of the school. And if there was logo, that logo would come over here. The first question. The second question. One thing you will notice over here, that the red color, the true and false one, was not the first question for me when I created the test. It's randomly, it has been changed. Okay. Now the capital, which I'll just enter anything. Over here also, I'm just going to select randomly. Three is left, so I'll select that. Which color is in the traffic light indicates go? I'll select the correct option over here. Identify the colors you find in the traffic light. green, red, yellow. I have not selected the other ones. I'll select the other ones. So I'll be able to demonstrate in a better way. And you write the answer over here, whatever the child wants. And after you have completed, you can submit. You will find a timer going over here. There's a timer which is clicking over here. So this timer indicates how much time the child has with him to complete the test. Right now, I've got 8 minutes and 23 seconds left with me. And I click on submit. So my paper has been submitted. The moment my paper has been submitted, it indicates over here the test number, name, congratulations, because that was the message which I gave on completion of test. Your score is 64%, 6.4 out of 10. 5 possible points pending. Why these 5 possible points are pending? Because I have got one question which needs to be checked by the teacher. So that is pending. Then let's look at the first one. See, the answer is correct. So it shows correct over here, green. This is the explanation which I had given. The second question, it is partially correct. Why it is partially correct? Because the 3 options which I selected, they were correct. But the one option which I selected was wrong. So it is partially correct. So out of 3, I have got 2.4 because one option which I selected was wrong. In the same way, if I have selected only 2 options and did not select the third one, I'll get the partial marks over here and the explanation which I gave. Then we have got the next option, which is correct. Over here, partially correct, you will find that there are 2 correct answers, 2 wrong answers. So I've got only 2 points out of 4. The capital of Karnataka, I gave Gandhinagar, which was incorrect, and the correct answer was Bangalore. And then this description answer, which is definitely to be checked by the teacher. I click on log out. The child has attempted the paper and child has submitted the paper and the score has been calculated. Now, if you remember in the settings, I had given that there is a teacher who is going to get the indication when the child has submitted. So if I go to my email ID, I will find that there is an entry over here. Workshop 121220, Shailendra 610, 64%. When did he attempt that paper? When did he submit the paper? What was the time taken by him? What were the responses by him? So the first question was correct. He got 1 marks for 1. Second question was partially correct. Third question, this was the answer. Fourth question, this was the answer. So the complete response sheet is available with me. Like this, if there are 30 students who are attempting, I will get 30 responses over here. So if anyone in the audience is also attempting, I will get their responses over here. Right? Now over here, I've not got any response. That means audience have not attempted as yet. They are observing everything. So that's about the result. Now let me go back to the main page. Let's go to the results over here. The last option. It's already 6:20. I hope I'll be able to cover this also. So we come to the results. In the results, you will find these options. What is the average score? The average score is 64% because only one child has submitted the paper. What is the average time taken? What are the responses? So everything, the complete details are indicated over here. The name of the child, his score, when did he start the paper? When did he finish the paper? What was the time taken? For the first question, he got correct, second correct, third correct, fourth correct, fifth wrong, and sixth is still pending. So now let us look at how to check that pending one. So I click on the child. When I click on the child, the answer paper is open for me. Right now, if you see 64%, 6.4 marks out of 10. I go to the correct question which has to be corrected by the teacher. So I've opened this and I read the answer and I write my comments over here. Well attempted. And I give the marks, say 4 out of 5. Now, similarly, you can do the correction for the others also. Suppose for one particular question, you want the marks to be given, although they are not automatically allotted. So you can still come back over here and you can give the marks. You can make the changes over here. I'm going to keep it as 0. You can write the comments over here if you want, my comments. And these comments will be saved along with the results. And after you have finished all this, you can just click on Save Changes. So remember, earlier it was 64%. Now it has increased to 69%. The corrections are automatically indicated over here. Over here, there was a question mark. That question mark is gone and it indicates a tick mark over here. All right. So this shows the results of the entire class, whoever has attempted the paper. But if you want these to be recorded, to be stored on your computer, although it is going to be available online for you whenever you want, you can come to this. But still, for reporting purpose, if you want, you have this option over here. Point grid, export, point grid, and response grid. If you click on point grid, you will be able to store the entire Excel sheet. This is point, and this is response grid. So I'm just saving it and I'll show it to you. Response. I'll open the point grid and show it to you how it is stored. So you'll find the names of the students, the start date, the end date, the time that is taken by the child, percentage, what are the points scored by the child, 10.4 out of 15. The first question, he got 1 point. Second question, this is all the point indication. I'll close this. I don't want to save it, don't save. And I'll show you the second one, response grid. The response grid again stores the name of the child, the start date, the end date, the time taken, the percentage, how much point is scored. But over here, it stores the answer given by the child, not just the point, but the answers given by the child. So you've got the complete record of the test. After this, you have the option of clearing all these scores and keep the test ready for the next. So you can just click on this name and clear all the scores. You can delete these records. If you want to send the report to the parents, so you click on the name of that particular child click on the name of the student whose report you want to send, then click on email and write the email of that child over here. And the moment you write the email of the child, it automatically goes to the parent. So whatever message you want to give along with the results, you can give that and click on send. But remember, when you click on send, the result goes to the parents. You cannot get it back. Once it goes, it is gone. You cannot undo this, right? So that's about the results. Like this, you can check the results of any test which you have conducted earlier. You will find, if you go to results, you will find all the tests which you have conducted earlier and their results, the score of all the students. Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Thank you for attending the workshop. It was good to be with the audience.
Thank you, sir. It was a very informative session as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining.